Hello my planner pals and welcome back, and if you're new here then thank you for joining me and giving me a try. My name is Di, I am here at Creative Karma Design, and today we've got a little bit of a tips and tricks again for my beginners, and maybe if you're more experienced maybe you'll learn something new, who knows. Last week I talked about the terminology for just general planners. Today we're specifically talking about stickers. So if we're talking about stickers, the first thing that we need to think about is sticker books, and generally they come in like binding at the top and they open this way. That is what we're talking about when we're talking about a sticker book. It's not just Happy Planner. There are other brands of sticker book. Michaels do their own, Hobby Lobby do the Agenda 52, and Joann's does their own too. And there are other brands, Live Love Posh, there's Mojo Jojo, there are tons of different brands. I'm going to go over some things that you may hear in Plannerland regarding your sticker books. All right, and the first thing is that when we're talking about sticker books, it comes in two kind of varieties. There's this one where they're on clear, and I'm going to show you here because what I like to do is I like to take off the clear backing, and you can see here, it'll give you an idea. The background is clear. Can you see that? The background is clear. So that is a clear sticker. Now when you put that on your spread, whatever is underneath will show through. So if you've got lines, if you've got another sticker, it is going to show through. The other type you have is this, which is on paper. So you can see here that this is a white paper. So these on the white paper, the colors tend to be a little bit more vibrant. So that is the first thing you need to know about your sticker books. All right, the second thing that we need to know about our sticker books is the different types of boxes that we have. We have decorative boxes like this one that have a pattern on it, also called pattern boxes or something like that, quote boxes, things like that. And then you have functional boxes where you can write things in the middle. Sometimes they'll be grid, they'll be dot grid, they'll be graph, they can be clear, they can be lined, all sorts of things can come in here. Sometimes they've got a little checklist. Those are what's called functional boxes. So your decorative, they've got a pattern on and it's a little bit more challenging to write on them. These usually have an outline or a line on them, that's something that you can actually write on. So those are your functional and decorative boxes. The other thing that we have are double boxes. And this would be an example of your double box where you have two of your single boxes here, but they're twice the width. So as you're thinking about your planner spreads, maybe it's a vertical planner, these will take up two columns in that planner. That is your double box. The other one, the other kind of box that we have is the monthly box. And this will be an example of your monthly box because these squares can fit anywhere. They also fit on the monthly spread, but these ones here are specifically made for your monthly spread because they've got this little notch in the corner where your date would go on your monthly spread. So this is called a monthly box. Just because it's called a monthly box and it has that notch, you can use it any planner, any spread, anywhere. So don't get tied into the fact that it's called a monthly box. Typically, these are called your sidebar box because these tend to go in the sidebar, which aren't your regular days. You might use this for a gratitude list. It might be your weekly to-do list or something like that. So your longer ones, your longer boxes are typically called your sidebar boxes. And then we have these, which are called layered boxes. So you can see here that I've got a little small functional box that's layered, pre-printed already on top of a decorative box. Now, if you're the type of person that gets challenged by not having things in the lines in your spreads, this might not be an idea. I like these just to think outside of the lines and get outside of your box. All right, so that is your basic boxes. So what else do we have in our planners? Well, we have florals, and the florals can come in a lot of ways. They can be little sprigs like this, or they can be things like this. Typically, again, you'll find them on clear, you'll find them on paper. But yes, those are your florals. And again, they're more of a decorative element than a functional element. And they come in all kinds of colors, shapes, sizes, different flowers, etc., etc. So one of the other things that we get is bullets. So these are what is called bullets. They're very small. They're very small little. They can be circles, they can be hexagons, they can be any small shape that you are using as an indicator, like whatever it is, like I need to remember this item. I need to remember this item. You can have them as a little to-do list. They come in full like this. I tend to also like them in the halves, so I will tend to cut them down and have halves rather than the full, so they're almost a semicircle. But that is typically your bullets. They do come in various sizes as well. My personal preference is for the small ones like this, where they're tiny. They're tiny bullets. Those are my preference over the bigger ones, but you do you. All right, the next one that you'll find is what's called a flag. Now your flag can come in a couple of different types. As you can see here, you've got two different points. One where it goes in and then one where it's like an arrow. So this one typically you will use horizontally. This one you will typically use vertically coming down from a page, but you can do any depending on what the flags are. But those are typically what are called flags. Now flags also come in other different kind of shapes. You might find some that are rounded as well. So here you go. Here's a flag that is kind of rounded. It's like an oblong. So that would also be classed as a flag. All right, moving on from there, we have washi. Now washi comes, typically when we think about washi, we think about it coming on a roll like this. But what we get in our sticker books is what's called a washi strip. So it's when you get something like this, which is the same patterns that are in your stickers, in your sticker book, but it's just in a strip form. So some of them will be decorative, like this one has little stars on it. This one will have words on it. This one's blank. This one's striped. So there'll be all kinds of different elements on there. So you can see here that this striped washi strip here kind of matches the colors that are in the book. So that is called a washi strip. And usually, if it's a Happy Planner brand anyway, they'll come in lengths that fit your planners. So this length here fits the 4 vertical boxes on the right hand side of the page. This one here will fit the 3 on the left hand side of the page. This is your double box size and this is your single box. So they usually come in those specific widths. You can cut the suckers up, so don't be tied to just those widths. All right, the other thing that we get in Happy Planner Land, especially in Happy Planner Land, is foil. So when someone's talking about foil, they're talking about the metallics. So can you see the metallic on here? So this one, I believe, it's hard to tell underneath the lights, but this one I think is bronze. I think this one is bronze. It could be copper. I think this one might be copper. There's copper, there's gold, there's silver, there's bronze, there's rose gold, there's brush gold, there's all sorts. So you can see here that these have foil in them too. You see that? These have foil in them too. So when people are doing sticker book flip throughs, they'll typically tell you what the foil is, whether it is silver, gold, copper, there's brush metal, there's different colors of foil as well. So maybe it's like a blue foil, a green foil, a purple foil, all kinds of foils. It just means that there's some kind of reflective metallic on your stickers. All right, the other thing that you will hear in Happy Planner Land is icons. Now, icons typically, so the other thing that you'll hear in sticker speak is icons. And icons typically refer to things like this, where you've got like a image. It's almost like emoticons or stuff like that, clearly. But yeah, something that is fun that you can put on the page. It could be a smiley face. It could be an ice cream, it could be something. But yeah, I would even class these as, I always think of like, if it's something that I would put in a text or something, then I classify that as an icon. That is my own kind of limit for icons. You do you. You do you. All right, so what we also have is what's called a header. So if you look in this portion here, this little bit here is the same width as your classic Happy Planner box. Again, it's the same width as your square boxes here, as all of that. But this will fit between the lines of your vertical planner. Now, it's also called a header because you can put it at the head of your page. You can put it at the head of your boxes. You can put it at the head of a box and stuff like that. But this is typically called a header. Now, the thing is that sometimes if you have a washi strip, you can make your own headers. So don't get tied into the terminology because you know, the rules are made to be broken. All right, one of the other things that we have in Happy Planner Land is characters. Now, this is the Disney book, but also thinking about the Wrong, some of the Agenda 52 stuff, and I'll share with you some of those in a minute. But again, characters, they can come on clear, they can come on paper, and all sorts of characters depending on what book that you have. I would also classify these as characters as part of your decoration. So again, characters, whether it is this is your character or it is a cartoon character, a literal cartoon character. Okay, one of the other things that you'll hear in sticker speak is wreaths, and what they're talking about are these. So it's like a circle frame sticker, but made from leaves and other designs, and they come in different size. Again, these are in foil. These are just paper and the colors. You've got a wreath here around a quote. But yeah, that is typically what people talk about when they're talking about a wreath. It's basically, you think about a wreath on your door. It's the circle design made from flowers, made from something in the design of the book, because each one is specific, right? But it's the circle with the design. They're very difficult to use, in my opinion, but yeah, that's what people are talking about when they talk about wreaths. Now, the other thing that you'll hear is tombstones or teeth. Teeth is the other thing that people sometimes call them. So this would be an example of your tombstones or your teeth. So again, you've got this square shape, but it's got a rounded corner on the edge of it. So this I would classify as a tombstone. So you think about it coming out of the ground, being a circular on the top. This would be the tooth coming down and having the circular portion on the bottom. They come in different varieties, different colors, different, whether it's decorative, it can be functional like these, all sorts. But that is basically your box shape or your rectangle shape with a circular, a half circle on the end. Tombstones, teeth. All right, so the next thing we've got is banners. And we think about banners as something like this. This could be your banner. You see that? Like you have it hanging like you would a kind of celebration banner. Also, as a banner, what gets called a banner is something like this, where it's a longer header, where it's not quite washi and it's not quite a header. It's somewhere in between. So you'll have a weekend banner that might say like "Love the Weekend" or something. I hope that makes sense. Sometimes, again, the speak is it's very confusing. Is very confusing. All right, one of the other things that we get is called a button. And if you're American, you'll already know this, but yes, just a big circle, just a bigger circle, like your standard kind of button. If you're not American, they'll call this a badge, but basically that is a button sticker because it's like that kind of size. All right, now one that I use, and I don't know if this is a real term or one that I've just made up, but you get little things like this where it's tiny little words that you can add to your planner. I mean, they're super small. Can you see that? Like that is super small. I call these word fetty. Some people call them little word strips. I call these wordfetti because it's like confetti, but they're words. You do you. All right, a couple of other things that I want to go over. I think some of them have already been included, but I think some things are fairly obvious. Like, you know, you'll have text stuff like this. You'll have arrows. Arrows are called arrows. Quotes. Maybe it's a quote box. You'll have something like this with a little quote thing on it. Again, icons. So one of the other things you get are checklists like this. Well, you'll be able to put this in your planner and then write out, and then you'll come and you'll check them off. They do come in other varieties rather than just with the circles. You'll find squares. Some will have different amount of circles on them. They'll come in different thicknesses, like these are different thicknesses. These have got little white dots on them. These are in foil. So as you can see, even in a sticker book, there are different terminologies to use in your stickers. I've gone over quite a lot here, but if you're not sure of some of the terminology, or if you're unsure of what something is called, or you have a question, then please leave a comment down below. I will be only too happy to help. I hope this helped. If it did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you next time, my planner pals. Bye!